Hello, back again. So how can I use my imagination to change my reality? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. So the question of the day is, how can I use my imagination to change my reality? Well, the answer is it's simple, but it ain't easy. Yesterday we talked about ways to develop your imagination so that it can become more powerful when you use it to attract the life you want. It involved deliberately using your imagination and focusing your attention on the world around you. That is, paying particular attention to how things taste and how things look and how things sound and how things smell, and then rerunning that within your imagination so that you could recreate those smells and recreate those sounds and recreate those touch within your imagination. One I left out yesterday was taste as well. So what you're trying to do is develop your imagination to a point where it can become a much stronger tool when you seek to invoke your imagination to create your new reality. And the more senses you can involve in that process, then the better. Now that we've discussed that, there is a series of steps that you're going to take in order to apply your imagination to the job of making changes, to the job of attracting to you the things in your life and the kind of life you want. Remember, I've told you that because we are in a vibratory universe, because we are all energy, then you're switching your vibration, you're turning your vibration to a certain frequency or vibrancy. You can begin to attract to you those things that match your vibration. So please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I'd love to hear your questions, your thoughts, your comments. So you can please use the chat box on the right side of the screen, or if you are using this as a replay, choose the comment section below this video. So what's the first step? The first step is to forgive yourself. That step is necessary because you know more about yourself than anybody else in the entire world. And quite frankly, you use that knowledge against yourself. One of the ways you use it against yourself is that you subconsciously will block good things coming to you because you know of things that you did or you didn't do. So what you've got to do is clear the way for a better life by removing those self-imposed blockages that are preventing you from having what you want. Now, according to Dr. Fred Luskin, who is the director of the Stanford University Forgiveness Project, there are 4 categories of self-blame that call for self-forgiveness. Number 1, failing at one of life's important tasks. Failing at one of life's, like not finishing college or not having the children that you wanted to have, or not getting married, or breaking off that engagement, or not getting that promotion that you so thoroughly deserved, but you messed it up. So that's one thing that you have to forgive yourself for. That's number 2. The second category is not taking action when it was necessary to help someone else or to help yourself. I remember when I was like 6 years old, somebody called my little sister a name and laughed at her, and I didn't instantly jump to her defense at that moment. And I remember feeling guilty about that for years until I learned how to fight. And then I probably overcompensated by jumping to her defense even when she didn't need it. So, step 2, not taking action when it was necessary to help someone else or to help yourself. Number 3, hurting someone else. I doubt that there's any one of us who've gotten through our lives without hurting somebody. So that's like a given. And the fourth category is committing self-destructive acts like substance abuse, getting addicted to drugs, or choosing not to honor commitments that we've made to ourselves by not doing things that we promised ourselves we were going to do, or not doing stuff that was for our own good, just because we were lazy or contrary, whatever. So all four of those categories have the effect of provoking within you shame and guilt. And when you have shame and guilt in your mind, then even if you're no longer consciously aware of it, then what you do is you will block yourself from having the good things because you will punish yourself. So the first step is to clear the pathway to success by removing the shame and guilt through self-forgiveness. And by forgiving yourself, you clear the way for the good things to come into your life because you can now feel worthy of receiving them. The next step is to use the process described in the book called It Works, written by R.H. Jerry, though at the time he wrote the book in 1926, he went by the pseudonym R.J.H. He was a salesman in Chicago who discovered this method for making things work, for attracting what he wanted in his life, and he wrote a book about it. It's a very short book. The first part of the method is to write down a list of the things you want and the conditions you really want in your life. Really want, that's the qualifier. You really want. And this may take several tries because a lot of us really don't know what we really want in our lives. We have things that we think we want, but to write what we really want, I don't know. So you write down this list of the things you really want in your life, of the conditions you really want in your life, of how you really want your life to be. And you look at it the next day and you'll probably change it a little bit. And do that for a few days, and you'll find that you change it and change it and change it, refining it until finally you get it to the point where you're ready to go for it. Okay, and then what you do is you read the list aloud to yourself 3 times a day. You read it morning, noon, and night. Read it out loud 3 times a day. Make sure you're alone when you do it because you don't want somebody else to hear what you're reading. The only ones who should hear this are you and infinite intelligence. So you're reading this 3 times a day to yourself, your list of what you really want in your life. Next, think of it as often as possible during the day. Now, my caution is to remember to stay focused in the now when your attention calls for it. You know, there are times when you got to be paying attention to what you're doing. But there are other times, you know, don't have to focus every minute of every day. And when you're not focused on what's going on right here at this moment, then think about what it is on that list. Think about the list. Think about the things you want that are on that list. And adding to that, whenever possible, break away. Take a break, a coffee break, a lunch break. And when you do that, then invoke your imagination and really apply your imagination as fully as you can on focusing on those things you want. A good time is when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed at night, sleep at night. But also, you know, you can do it at lunch. I remember when I was working out there in the corporate world, sometimes at lunch I would go out to my car so that I could meditate. So when you do this, when you invoke your imagination to focus on these things, really get into it. Really feel it. Feeling is the key. So how would you feel if you actually got what you want? How would you feel? Think about that. Get into it. Would you be excited? How would your clothes feel on your body? What would you touch around you? Use your imagination. Use your senses. What would you hear? What would people be saying to you? Or what would be people saying about you? What would you see around you? Would you be in a new car? Would you have new furniture? What will it smell like? Use all your imaginary senses and put yourself right in the middle of the life you want, surrounded by the things you want to have. Be there. Really be there. Totally. Now you can think about, as I said, you can think about it anytime during the day, as long as you stay focused on the now. But when you go deep to invoke your imagination, make sure you're in a safe place, a place where you can safely remove yourself from the physical reality around you. In other words, don't do it while you're driving. Next, don't tell anybody what you're doing. You got your plan, you're thinking about your plan, but don't tell anybody about what you're doing. This is between you and infinite intelligence. Telling anybody else about what you're doing invites their energy into your process. And unless they are totally in sync with you, which nobody else is going to be totally in sync with you, then their energy is going to disrupt your process. So this is just between you and infinite intelligence, nobody else, not even your husband and wife, nobody. This is totally you. And finally, express gratitude for receiving what you want, as if you already have it. You've already received it. Remember the words in the Bible, book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 24. Therefore, I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. Believe that you will receive them and you will have them. So, over the past few days, we have discussed your imagination as a powerful tool to attract into your life things you want. It is a magnet. And we've talked about developing your imagination by really paying close attention to what your five senses feed back to you. Your sight, your ears, your fingertips, and really get them into your imagination and recreate them into your imagination so that you can enhance it, so you can make it more powerful. And then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. That is going to remove the obstacles that you may have subconsciously put up to block good things coming to you. So forgive yourself. Don't hold all these grudges against yourself. Let go of the shame and the guilt and forgive yourself. Next, you make a list of what you really want, what conditions you really want. And after you've made that list and refined it and know that it's going to change, and when things come in, then they're no longer need to be on the list, so you can take them off the list and put in something else. But you make this list. And you invoke your imagination. You think about what's on the list all the time after you read it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. And invoke your imagination strongly when you are alone and in a safe place. And tell nobody about it. Nobody. And then finally, give thanks. Give gratitude for what you have received. You have received it. So express gratitude for what you have already received, though you don't see it physically. Because it's in your mind, because it's in imagination, know that you will receive it and give thanks for receiving it. Now, the rest, it's up to you. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence. Thank you for bringing us all together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work that we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who and what we really are. We are the children of God, and we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. And as we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this we are truly grateful. As above, so below, as within, so without, and so it is. Amen. Again, please click on the thumbs up button. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Remember, I'd love to hear your comments in the chat box on the right or in the comment section below the video. I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.